Hello again. We're going to be switching out this double handle shower operator to a single handle operator that will go right here, almost right where the brush is. It'll go about right here. First thing we got to go do, we're going to have to figure out where to get into the back side of the shower so we can start and finish. So what we're going to do, and this is for the beginner who really don't know, he don't want to cause a fire, or he wants to do it the easy way, and this should take only probably roughly, I'd say probably not more than an hour and a half to 2 hours long to put it in. That is if you got everything arranged. Alright, well here we go. We're going to go back to the back side. Alright, I found the access going down to the basement. Now we're going to see what kind of issues we have to get into this plumbing. It's a plumbing chase between the bathtub and the shower area. So let me show you what we got going on in there. Okay, what we got here, here's the valves. Here's the valve we're going to replace right here. Now if you're in your shower, your left side will always be hot and your cold side will always be on the right side. So we're in the back side of it, so everything's in the reverse side of it. So this is the hot right here, it's on the right side, and this would be your cold side. And since we're in here, so we don't have to shut the house off again, I'd like to put some shutoff valves right in this section, right in anywhere between the 2x4 area and all the way down to the floor. There should be a shutoff valve so you can isolate it. If the valve don't have one in it already, it'd be a good idea to put one in so you don't have to continue to shut it off. We'll probably put a coupler or a quick disconnect on the shower going upwards. Be easy, and we should be taking care of this. Okay, here's a few of the parts you will need for this two-handle, single-handle remodel. You'll need a valve. You notice I bought a used discounted one, and it has the bathtub, but all you do is put a cap on this part of it here, so that's where your bathtub would go out of. It's threaded, which I like. I like using the threaded type. I don't like to sweat into the valve because you can damage that valve, and if you do sweat that valve, make sure you take all the guts out of it because there's plastic and rubber in there. So I always buy the threaded type if I can. These are the parts we'll need. You'll also need a remodeled cover plate. And I'll show you the PEX parts you'll need later on in this video to complete this job. And it makes it a lot easier, and that way you don't have to put no flames to the back area of your bathtubs or anywhere else. Okay, what I have here, this is, I already went out to the garage and I sweated my parts together. Now, I had to add on some sweat adapters for PEX pipe. That's what these are. These parts right here are. These are PEX parts right here. If you don't have those, you can use shark bites instead, but just a little bit more costly. It'll probably cost you right around $30–35 extra just to have 4 of these extra ones here. And I'm going to use 3 of them already. One for the shower, the 2 for the supply lines, because I don't, like I said, I'm trying to teach you how to not to use any kind of torch back there, especially for the beginners. And these will go onto the pipes on the supply lines, and these will be the adapters. We'll put some PEX pipe between them, and we'll cut it with our cutters to the right distance, and you'll see how easy it is to put together. After I get it put together, after we drill the hole, it should only take probably about maybe an hour at the most after that. So make sure, and these are the crimp rings you'll need. This is a 1/2 inch. That's what those are right there. We'll put those on and we'll clamp them and we'll be done with it. Okay, I just got through putting our valve together with our copper pieces that we soldered. And the reason why I didn't use PEX on these ends right here is because I find them to be too short. You can't swing them around this valve too easy. So that's the reason why I went with copper. I put them together with some Teflon tape and True Blue for a real good connector. I blew through the ends of our PEX and they just seem like there's no leaks in here, so I think we should be pretty safe. So I also put a shark bite on the shower, since I'm going to show you how to do it without soldering inside those chases. So all we got left now to put together is the valve, our shark bites on the supply lines, and our PEX line between here and here. And you got to be a little bit careful when you put this valve cover on there. You got to make sure you got a lot of room to mess with, but just be careful that you don't go too high or too low. You got two holes that will go into those two holes that you'll be replacing, so it shouldn't be too bad. Okay, I just got to be shutting the water off and turning it back on. I put my shark bites on there, as you can see, and they're really nice. So right now, we do not have to shut the water off anymore in this house to complete our job. Next step will be to cut this shower head off right there, and I'll show you kind of what I'm going to do there. So we'll get to that here in a second. Okay, I removed the shower faucet, and now we're about ready to put on our remodel cover plate. And that's what that is. This is a universal cover plate. So what we're going to do, just stick this plate. I got the screws in there, right here. You got to remember that you got a little hole right at the bottom of the base of these, and that just allows the excess water from going down the shower wall in case you have a leaky seal around here, and instead of down the wall. So all you gotta do is stick it like this, and then we'll go on the back side of the pipe chase, and we'll put these in there to hold this plate in place. Now you got this big hole right here. This is where the new faucet will go, right here. Aim for dead center of that valve and you'll be okay. You got all this room, so if you mess up, it's no big deal. You can mess up a little bit on it because the cover plate, the other cover plate for the faucet, will cover all this part of it anyways. So you got a little bit of room to mess up. So it's really just hit dead center. I'm going to use a 2.5 inch hole saw right here because that's the size of the valve, and that'll give me a little bit of room to mess with. And I'll show you the rest of it here in a second. Okay, I just got through cutting the hole with my 2.5 inch hole saw, and that's what it looks like. I went ahead and tightened this down. I can dust that out later if you want to, but essentially that's what it's going to look like. Pretty straight. You have all this room to cut around. Now I'm going to have to make a couple of holes to attach the other plate onto this plate, and those will be right in here, so I'll show you those later. I've taken this valve out of here to show you. This is the shower line, and we put the shark bite on the tip of it, and make sure you do that because otherwise your measuring will be all off, so make sure you do that. Okay, here we got the PEX system right here, and all you need some cutters, which are used for PVC and plastic, and then you need some crimp pliers. You also have hand style too that you could use. I like the handle ones because once you crimp them, they're done. And this is the result after you get done with them. It makes them nice. And those are called copper crimp rings. That's what you need. And these are 1/2 inch. So just in case your shower goes on hot before the cold comes on, you got these 3 pieces that come out of the center part, and all you got to do is take those out of there, out of the center part. That'll be right in here, and then turn your water. You're going to turn this valve, or this valve right here, you're going to turn it all the way around so it goes the opposite direction. And that should do it for right now. We'll test that here in a second. Okay, that did the trick. Just by moving that center part, because that's where it stops. You go up and down, so that's the shut-off position. So if you turn it, just turn it halfway around and you're equal. What these are, this is for anti-scalding. So they're on equal parts, so it'll swing all the way around to the hot place and then shut off on this side of it. So that's all you got to do. Okay, I'm checking for leaks right now. There's no leaks on the valves. And here's our shower valve right here, and nothing's leaking on it. It looks all good. I turned it on already and it's working great. The only thing I might have to do is put a wood brace between the studs, this stud and that stud right there, and then tie the pipes onto it. Notice we didn't use one torch back here at all to solder anything. It was a safe job to do. It's a good practice job. It took probably about 3 hours total to do it, and that's just rounding up the materials. And that's basically the big thing about this, is to make sure you have all your supplies you need. Well, this is the final installment, the braces between the 2x4s. Remember to use copper or plastic, especially on copper pipes. Don't go with galvanized, because that will cause a chemical reaction with your water, and it could start rotting up your parts a little bit. Jacob usually shoots all this video for me, but it was kind of crowded for both of us to be back here, so I shot this all by myself. So he does a terrific job though, and I really appreciate it. And I thank you for watching this. And remember, when they say no, we say Reyes. You can do home repairs. And there's the finished product. I already tested it and it works great. So it can be done probably about 2 to 3 hours. And just remember, when they say no, we say Reyes. You can do home repairs.